The newest Dragon Generations update, the Daima update, added the form perfecting system, which allows us to take our forms to the next level. So, in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the perfected Saiyan forms. So, let's go ahead and get into it. I've perfected each one. It really didn't take me too long. Thankfully, I have the Time Chamber Game Pass, of course, so that helped out a lot. So let's get into it. So first, I'll just go in order. So this is False Super Saiyan. I'm not a big fan of this form. I don't really love it so much. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, what you think about this form. Do you think this form is cool? I don't know. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, the multiplier for False Super Saiyan is 1.5 times. It has a damage reduction of 33%. And if we go ahead and look at the letters, let's go to False Super Saiyan. There we go. So we got D melee attack, D rush attack, C ki blast, D ki attack, B stamina, and C ki type. So, if you guys don't know what these mean, I'll go ahead and run that down for you guys real quick. So melee attack is your basic punches, your M1s, which is this, basically, you know, your combo string. Rush attack is your melee supers, so stuff like this. Ki blast is this. Ki attack is like ki supers, so like this. And then stamina is your blue bar right here, so that affects vanishing as well as flight speed. And it also affects your regeneration. Key type is your key bar up here, the yellow key bar. It affects your charging speed, so you guys might notice my charging speed is actually slower in False Super Saiyan than it is in base form. That's because key type and stamina, pretty much, if you are below the letter B for those stats, you get a slight debuff, which it's nothing like crazy, especially after they changed it. I wish I could show off like the stamina one, because earlier while I was training, because False Super Saiyan was the last one I hadn't done, and I got it done in like 5-10 minutes or something. Like, or at least today, I had some progress on it before most of it I had done. But pretty much, I was like vanishing around, and like really it wasn't too bad. But basically like this movement right here, flying around, is affected by stamina, and then stuff like charging up your ki. And then also the amount of ki that you lose from Ki Blast is more. So that's the disadvantage of having key type below B. These other letters don't nerf you at all. At F, they which is the starting letter, they just give you a 0% boost in damage. And then once you get up to D, it is a 0.1 or a 0.10. It's the same thing. Addition to your form. And then each letter is again another 0.1. So D is adding 1 of those, and then C would be adding 2, so 0.2. So pretty much how it works is if I go base form, and I punch this dummy right here, that's a critical. That's a critical. Alright, nice. Okay, awesome. 3-1-4 is basically what I'm doing. So when I go False Super Saiyan, it's going to multiply my damage by 1.5. However, because I have my melee attack at D, it's actually going to be a 1.6 multiplier, is what that means. So, and that's specifically for the D. So yeah, that's pretty much False Super Saiyan. Not much else to really go to. Poor stamina. The Ki Blast is one of the better stats, and that's awful because it's just these. Yeah, low Ki attack, low rush attack, low melee attack. Stamina at B is nice, I guess, but, I mean, there's no point, really, in using this form. This form is bad. Let's move on to, Super Saiyan. So, Super Saiyan now. Let's click on it. Melee attack is still D. Rush attack is C. Ki Blast is D. Ki attack is C. Stamina and Ki type are both B. So, as you guys can see, I'm losing less ki from my Ki Blasts, and if I use a move real quick, my charging speed is back to normal. And, yeah, this is the most iconic form in the series. I think it's really dumb that stamina and Ki type for Super Saiyan 1 aren't A, because that just makes the most sense, and it would also give you an actual reason to use this form. Like, that like, you guys, I know there's obviously going to be discussion about how good or bad this mechanic is. That's not what this video is about. But I will shed light. I do think they missed, like, no matter what your criticism is, I think at least in my point of view, the worst part about form perfecting is that these letters are, like, terrible. Like, they don't make any sense at all. Like, why does Super Saiyan 1 not have A? And there's even worse examples for other races, but why does Super Saiyan 1 not have A stamina and Ki type? That just don't make sense. I do wish that this form perfecting gave you an actual reason to use other forms, and it kinda did with Heaven Savior versus using Ultimate, which I'll get into later. But anyway, so yeah, Super Saiyan, if I remember, 314 was my damage, and of course I always crit. 661 is now my damage now, so that is a, let me go over the stats for Super Saiyan. So it's a 2x multiplier, and you have 50 damage reduction, 50% damage reduction. So the 2x multiplier from turns into 2.1 for melee, it turns into 2.2 for rush, 2.1 for ki blast, 2.2 for ki attack, and then obviously stamina and ki type are the same as your base form. So yeah, that's Super Saiyan 1. That's the most iconic transformation in almost all of fiction, really. You could say all of fiction. I don't know, man. Sure, why not? Let's go 2. So Super Saiyan 2, if I look at the stats here, melee attack C, rush attack C, ki blast C, ki attack B, stamina B, ki type A. Now, I kinda get it. Super Saiyan 2 is most synonymous with Gohan and Vegeta. Gohan for the iconic, you know, Super Saiyan 2 transformation in the Cell Saga, but in more modern Dragon Ball, I guess Vegeta kind of made it his form, and he, you know, we all know Vegeta was a ki spammer, bro. We all know Vegeta's technique. And then Xenoverse also had the Super Vegeta form, which is ki based, like ki damage based. So I get the reasoning, but like I don't understand why Super Saiyan 1 couldn't be AA, 2 BB, and then 3 CC. And then that actually just gives you reasons to use all these forms. 3 for the most damage, 2 for a balance, and then 1 for the best stamina and ki type regeneration. Because as you guys should know, if your stamina and ki type goes above B, you start charging faster, you start recovering stamina faster. So I don't know, man. They dropped the ball, but the rest of this video is gonna be positivity. So yeah, so Super Saiyan 2, let's look at Super Saiyan 2 stats. So that would be a 2.5 times multiplier with 60% damage reduction. And again, these are the letters. So for example, this C would bump it to 2.7 times for all the C's, and then it's actually a 2.8 for ki attack. So not bad. And then obviously the ki type, you charge faster actually, so maybe I can show that off real quick. Let me pause the recording and come back when I'm low on ki. You guys can kind of see my ki blast. I don't know if you can notice it really, if it's really that noticeable, but my ki blasts take less ki. And there, if I use my super, by the way, supers aren't involved in the buffs and nerfs. A lot of people were confused about that. So having low stamina doesn't mean your moves take more stamina. So yeah, if I charge up now, charging is slightly faster than it would normally be, which I mean, sure. Why not? Let's buff the Frieza race and androids even more. Let's buff the 2 best races in the game even more. Why not? Whatever, man. I did say positivity. Okay, let's go positivity. So that is Super Saiyan 2. Let's go all the way to 3 here. So Super Saiyan 3 is melee attack B, rush attack A, ki blast A, ki attack A, stamina B, ki type C. So the gist of it is basically that you are sacrificing ki type for power, but keep in mind Saiyans, especially full-blooded Saiyans, are a melee race. Like, yes, their damage is tied more towards, or their damage is equal. Mine isn't because I have traits. I have Namekian Dragon Ball traits. I believe I have 2 into damage. So, but the race ability is what makes it a melee build race, and pretty much the key type being C doesn't really affect it too much. What does kind of suck is melee attack only being B, which, like, I don't know, man. I just feel like a lot of thought wasn't really put into it. But anyway, this is Super Saiyan 3. I didn't really show my M1s for 2, so I guess I can quickly do that if you guys even care. It goes all the way up to 849 now. And then when I get 3 back, I will go 3. I can actually read out the multiplier. So we have 66% damage reduction now. And we have a 3 times multiplier. So if I go back to 3, I'm at 1,000 now. So pretty much melee attack goes from a 3 times multiplier to a 3.8 times multiplier. Rush attack is a 3.9 times multiplier. Same with Ki Blast and Ki attack. So yeah, Super Saiyan 3 fully perfected. Pretty strong form, especially for melee users. However, it pales in comparison to the next form, the Legend form. This is Heaven's Savior. Very, very nice. I still like this form. I did get a little tired of seeing it a lot, but let me equip Tapion's clothes real quick. Looks so good with Tapion's clothes, man. I don't know why, bro. It's the scarf or something. Looks so cool with this. But yeah. So let's go ahead and look back at the stats here. So Heaven's Savior is A melee attack, A rush attack, B Ki Blast, A Ki attack. Already much better. B stamina and C key type. So yeah, Heaven's Savior is just straight up. All you are doing is trading melee attack for Ki Blast and Ki, like we already went over. That doesn't really matter. Like, that damage doesn't really matter. So with Heaven's Savior, you're at a 3.25 times damage multiplier and a 70% damage reduction. Again, they do have C key type, so your charging is a little lower, but assuming you're a melee build, like you should be, is a loose term, because, you know, Saiyans can pull off either or. It just kind of makes their race ability useless. You can do whatever you want, right? But the recommended build is Saiyan. For Saiyan is melee, right? So, oh, what is this lag? I'm not charging. There we go. Okay, game pooped itself. Anyway, yeah, that's the stat spread. So if we go, A is a 3. It would be a add 4. So 3.25 adding 4 is 3.65. That's across the board except for Ki Blast, which is 3.55. Which actually just makes this form do more damage than Ultimate, right? I believe so. I kind of want to... I'll go over Ultimate very, very quickly. It's technically not a Saiyan form, so I don't want to give it too much. But yeah, Ultimate has 72% damage reduction. Heaven's Savior has 70% damage reduction. So, Ultimate still has the defense just slightly. And Ultimate, for some reason, I actually don't know if it's a visual bug or not. Ultimate says it has A key type for me, still. But the wiki says it has B key type. And I think it's supposed to have B key type. So I really couldn't tell you what is true and whatnot, but I don't know. But either way, all F for Ultimate. This was a change made because Ultimate kind of like being so strong and having the perfection system implemented to it just made it even more so the best form in the game, and it gets kind of boring when your best form in the game is just like if I'm most of the time you're playing the game, you're looking like this, right? Like you're looking, your character is facing away from you, right? So look at my character. Did you notice the difference? If I turn my aura off, do you notice the difference? No. Like some lightning every once in a while, yeah. And like that's cool and all for a little bit, but it's just like having to wait for paths to actually have a unique looking form again is painful. But anyway, back to Heaven's Savior. So Heaven's Savior actually can output more damage than Ultimate now. If we go ahead and test it, I don't want to get a critical. We're at 1149. If I go Ultimate, 1101. So slightly more damage out of Heaven's Savior across the board is what you're going to be getting, which is pretty cool. There's no real downside to it either. I mean, as a melee build. So I guess Saiyan's lucked out in that regard. Not to mention for fusions as well. This is really good because fusions have always been more so in favor of Heaven's Savior plus Kaioken times 20. over like Ultimate and Majin Mark, for example, this just does more damage, right? And look at that, that's a lot of damage. If I just do a full combo on Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, doing 50k with a melee string is pretty sweet. For reference, Power Pull is doing 65k, no crit, so, I mean, yeah, very, very powerful. And if you guys want to see my stats, there you go, 2000 melee. There anything else to talk about? Not really, not really. Let me know what you guys think. This isn't, we're not here to crap on perfecting or whatever. This is just for educational purposes. Yeah, I wish the letters were better. That's all I can really say. I wish the letters made more sense. If we had Super Saiyan double A here, Super Saiyan 2 double B here, Super Saiyan 3 double C here, and I don't know what you would do for Heavens. I mean, another change that I wish happened was, I wish that once you hit A, there would be, it wouldn't just be a 0.1 buff, it would be like a 0.2 buff. You know, that would at least like help Super Saiyan 3 slightly, a little bit more. And if you want to make it harder to get past B, then yeah, sure, that's fine, to earn the A buff. Like, I have no problem with that. But at the same time, if you're going to do that, you should make it easier to get to B, if that makes sense. Because, honestly, being stuck below B for a while, obviously, if you guys have seen the comment sections lately, you know, there's been a lot of arguing going on. The main thing I took from it, like, the best thing I took from it was that for lower levels, maybe it is really difficult to get your stamina up to B. And, like, I can definitely see it, because number one, you have to master your form. And in my own experience playing the game, mastering your form takes, like, if you don't sit down and actually do it, it's going to take you basically the whole story, which I don't think is a bad thing. But adding perfecting on top of that kind of, like, you know, it kind of stinks a little bit, pretty much. And by the whole story, I mean for that world. It takes you, like, that 100 levels to do it, thanks to the new crazy good mastery buff. I don't want to get into a rant on perfecting forms, but pretty much, I would say, like, the only things I would change about perfecting at this point, would be, I would make it easier to get to B, I would make it harder to go beyond B to A, and I would buff A. And then I would change all the letters for all the forms and all the races to make it actually make sense. But, you know, that's just me. That is just me. Let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys have a great day. That was all the perfected Saiyan forms. Let me know what race you guys want to see next. Please comment that. I would love to know what race you guys want to see perfected next. Doodles.